Welcome to the mind behind the curtain. Today we have a special guest, one of my best friends, Umar, and he goes by Umi. And
AKA Umi, baby.
AKA Umi. Umi, I just want to give you a token of our appreciation for you being here today.
Oh, thanks, man.
And, you being part of the team now, you get a skull. And today, you get the DJ skull.
DJ Umi in the house. I'll take it. This
is yours.
Thank you very much.
This is yours. So you can place it anywhere on the table, anywhere you want.
All right.
So every time we do a podcast,
I'll put it here beside Jose for today. Can't really see it, but we'll just put it there.
That will be yours. There you go.
All right. Well, I can put you up here maybe. All right. We'll put it right. Trust me, he's right there in the front.
Yeah, you can see. You can just see the top of it.
All right.
All right. So today we're gonna be talking about Father's Day.
Father's Day.
And also how mothers have played both roles.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I was raised by a single mom for a long time, so I can definitely testify to that.
Same here, man. Same here. So that's something that we have in common. We've had some pretty strong mothers all our lives, and they filled our father's shoes when they weren't there.
Yes,
so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the history of Father's Day.
Okay.
And then, why we celebrate it every third Sunday, right? Instead of every second Sunday, or every first Sunday for Mother's Day?
If fathers are so important, why don't we get a set day? Like June 12th is Father's Day. No, third Sunday. Unless it's a leap year, and then it's on a Thursday. Unless it rains, then it's a Tuesday.
Now we're getting into it now. Let's just roll right into it, man, because that's a good thing. Like, that's a good topic to talk about. Why don't they just choose a day? I guess it's because they want to make Father's Day fall on a weekend or a Sunday when they're not at work, right? So sometimes it goes on the 21st, sometimes it falls on the 20th. Like next year is going to be on the 20th, right, Jose? Next year? I think that's what we looked up.
I think it was the 19th.
Oh, it could be. There you go. So next year, Father's Day is going to be falling on the 19th. Now, when did you think the first day of Father's Day was celebrated?
Oh, like the inaugural Father's Day?
Yeah, like when they first said, that's it, we're going to start celebrating.
You know what? We're great. Let's give ourselves a day. Let's call it Father's Day. That sounds fantastic. I think they did that around, slavery time? I'm going to go ahead and say 1700s?
Yeah, well, you're about 2 centuries off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all good.
I know man likes to pat himself on the back. I thought we got that a long time ago. But, all right, when is it?
So it was June 19th, 1910.
Wow.
When they first officially announced that it was going to be Father's Day, and it actually came before Mother's Day. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. We're an arrogant bunch. We don't mean to be, but we're kind of,
we were giving ourselves so much credit.
But okay, it's before Mother's 1910. Yeah. And where was it originated? Where did they decide?
Yeah,
to do that?
when did they? It's somewhere in the States, right?
Yeah, in Washington.
And
just like everything, the States tries to set traditions that become internationally known, and then they become global celebrations, right? And like I said, it took about 50 years later, maybe more. I think it was even more, right? Like 62 years later? 58 years later, Umi, to celebrate Mother's Day.
It's 58 years too late, but they're here, they're getting their due, and let's give them props because they deserve it. They do. Their job is thankless, and we don't want it. We really.
I mean, not to discredit Father's Day, but I think mothers should have come first. But hey,
you know what? It should be Mother's Day, and then it should be Mother's and Father's Day. We shouldn't even have to share our day because they deserve it that much. They really do.
And why did they separate it for it's almost a month that they're separated, right? Like Mother's Day is May 10th, the first Sunday of May,
right?
And then June, at the end of June, almost, third week of June. Like,
I think we just wanted to make sure that it would be nice and warm for us, and just sort of give them the rain at the end of May, so it wouldn't be so bad. I'm just kidding, folks. I am kidding.
Yeah, usually, yeah, exactly. They get the spring showers, right? The spring rains. Now, we want to talk about how many single fathers are out there, versus single mothers. And Jose did some research on that, and he found out that in the States there's 16.1% of single fathers living in a single household.
Wow.
Versus the mothers, there's 41% of single mothers living on a family household.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's more single mothers taking the load.
I think that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I expected that, but
No pun intended. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's 16% is a great number. I'm happy. I wish it was higher. I wish more dads stepped up and did the right thing. We were going to talk about stepdads, and I know we both had a stepdad, so we've experienced men stepping up and doing an amazing job and stepping in and doing the right thing. So I'm happy to hear that there is 16% of men out there in America that are stepping up and being single dads.
What's one of your like personal best stories that you have from your father?
Oh, I mean,
like your paternal father, not your stepfather. We can talk about your stepfather.
Sorry,
your real father. Yeah, your
my
paternal.
real, my
like
well,
the guy that planted the seed.
Well, I guess it would be that moment.
the guy you get your height. And
I wasn't there, but I mean, I kind of was, but no.
You were just a thought.
I didn't meet my dad till I was much older. I was 19 years old when I met my dad. And the day we sat down across from each other, we nervously picked up pencils from across each other and spun them around our fingers the same way. And I thought that was very interesting, that we had the same mannerisms and quirkiness that we'd never seen each other in our lives.
Yeah, and that took some coordination.
That took some coordination.
Like,
hey,
and doing some Cirque du Soleil with your fingers, and you're like, hey, my dad can do it too.
My dad can do it too. It's in the genes. It's in the genes. We were at Did's Pizza, just to get a little shout out to old school Did's Pizza on Granville.
Man, do you guys remember Did's Pizza when they put out the bowl with salsa, and then you can put your salsa, the pico de gallo, pico de gallo on the pizza?
That was a nice touch.
Oh my God, man, it was so good. And I think they even had guacamole on this side too, man. Didn't they have guacamole?
They were ahead of their time for the pizza game.
Oh,
they really were.
And they were big slices too. I think that's where the single slice pizza idea came to be, because they were selling it by the single slice.
Okay,
I would always get like 2 or 3, by the way, because I was like,
back to his question about my dad. Very interesting story about my father.
Sorry for spinning off on that.
My real father. He was my best friend's football coach when he was 12 years old. And he was a role model to my friend, even though he had a dad in his life. And my friend Dave, said he admired my dad and looked up to him. And worlds apart, my actual father is my best friend's football coach. I haven't met him yet. He met him 8 years before I met him.
No way.
Well, that's just weird. And that's one of my greatest memories about my father. He was just such a wonderful, warm man. Everybody loved him. It didn't work out between him and my mom, and that's a different topic for another day. But since he's been in my life, he's been nothing but great. And I have nothing but the nice things to say about my father. Dad, I love you so much.
That's
and
amazing.
Thank you for hooking up with my mom. And
I know you should surprise him one day with just doing some like Cirque du Soleil finger tricks with your pencils and talking about like how he inspired you to be an athlete and all that. And I didn't know that about Dave, man. Like that's interesting.
That's weird. It was 6 degrees of separation. That's some weird stuff.
And Dave is like a close friend of ours, and he's been in our lives. He's been in Umi's life, obviously, for 30 plus years, 40 plus years.
Yeah, I'm not that old, but something like that. 25. I'm getting up there.
The age.
No. Hey, I'm proud. I just turned 50, ladies and gentlemen. I'm feeling fantastic, and most people are sending their condolences, and I appreciate that. But I'm okay, and I'm gonna be okay. So
that's good, man. That's good. Well, one of my
right
personal experiences with my dad, man. Like I barely got to see my dad, to be honest with you. And every time I saw him was very sporadic and very ephemeral moments with him, right? Like it was just like short-lived. Mm-hmm. And but one story that I remember from him is that we were watching TV. And there was this show called La Carabina de Ambrosio, right? Because I was raised in Mexico. And this show, in Mexican TV, they always have like voluptuous women, like just dancing and shaking their ass. And, and you're a kid watching this, right? Like, you got like Crazy Sunday, like Super Domingo, and you have all these women coming out. So at a young age, you get to appreciate the beauty of women.
And
right?
How old were you?
I was only like 7, man. 7 years old. And my dad was like, oh, you like her legs? And I'm like, oh, I love her legs, Dad. I was like, those legs are amazing, right? And he's like, would you like to go to the studio and see them live? And I'm like, what?
Wow.
So he bought us a ticket to Mexico City.
No way.
To go watch the freaking show live.
That's amazing.
Now, we didn't get to see it. Because that's how my dad rolled, right? He promised something big, but he would always come like halfway, right? Like, yes, we went to Mexico City. We were probably like 4 blocks away from the studio, right? But I got to see the show on TV again, right? Just in Mexico City in a hotel. But that left me a really strong impression on my dad. And I love that about how he took the effort to do it, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day,
And he loved the show.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it counts. The effort that fathers put into raising their children. You know what I mean? It's the effort, it's being there, it's pushing, it's doing, you know? And that brings up how some mothers have to play that role, and you and I have that.
Wow, yeah, that's
right. They step up, and now they play both roles, man. And now they're doing the effort of one person. I mean, of the other person. Now they're doing two efforts, right?
You're wearing two hats, wearing two pairs of pants.
Yeah.
And you know, I can remember my mom, you know, going outside and shagging balls for me while I'm playing soccer. She had no business being on the field, none whatsoever. But there she is running off getting balls for me.
In the Vancouver weather.
In the Vancouver weather, so that her son could train. And she didn't do that too many times, but I appreciated it so much when she did. And going back to my father, my stepfather, I was a bad kid. I don't know if I was a bad kid. I was always grounded. I was always in trouble. And I remember I got grounded for like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh man, no soccer, no nothing. I'm in trouble. And I remember doing my chores and getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and being taken to the field, and like, he didn't care that I was grounded. He knew how much it meant. He knew how much it meant to me. And he dragged me in the rain and drove 7 kids and took us to McDonald's and got froze in the snow and the rain. And that man, week in and week out, drove me. And Richard, thank you. You changed my life. You changed my life. Sport is so important.
That's amazing.
It's the structure of team play, and I'm getting emotional over here. I
can totally relate to
these
that.
Things
man.
that you do as a father. You have no idea the implications they're going to have on a child. But when you put the time in and you spend it with them and you do what they want to do. You see the child flower and blossom, and you know, what more feedback do you need than that? And but sometimes it's hard. But those times he pushed through and those times he didn't want to do it, you know, it means a lot to me.
That's amazing.
It really does.
That's amazing, man. I can, like I said, I can relate to that because my stepfather, man, he was always there for me too, man. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have known how to lose weight in 5 days. Like, he trained me hard, man. And he showed me that in like within 5 days, I could actually drop about 10 to 15 pounds. If you commit to it, you do a proper diet, and then you exercise religiously. Not only once a day, but twice a day. And if you can, throw in a third workout. And obviously nowadays, you know, we're not 16, we're not 17, where we're able to handle that. But that you can pass that on. So like what Richard taught you, you know, you can pass it on.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. I have 3 daughters and a son, and I'm thrilled. They're the greatest things I'll ever do in this world. And you know, I've done scenes with Will Smith. So I mean, just to say that it means a lot. Like nothing I can do can ever top your children, and you know, they're young now, so I have big dreams and aspirations. And talk to me when they're teenagers, I might say something different, but I'm kidding. No, I love my kids.
I totally. And then that brings up our last segment, or my last question to this segment of Father's Day, and it's like among all the things that you want to do with your kids that you consider to be great, what's on top of the list? Like you know, it doesn't have to be number 1. It could be number 5. It could be number 10.
My dreams or aspirations for them.
Like one of the things that you might want to do with them that you consider to be a very significant thing that you want to do with your kids, so you can pass on knowledge, so they can learn something.
You know I think my kids are probably already smarter than I am. I'm not I don't consider myself the sharpest.
They are pretty smart, man.
Tool in the shed. But no, I love of outdoors. I love of sport. I love of your planet. You know, just be thankful for life and appreciative. Just the simple things, just to be appreciative, just to be good people, and just really to get out there and experience life and not be afraid to fail. And we only learn through failing. So there's no wrong mistakes, and it's you know, I'm going to be there when they fall down, and that's okay. Let's get back up and let's do it again, and just show them that, you know, lead by example. And that's all I can do. I had dreams and aspirations when my first son was born that he was going to be an Olympian and he was going to be a professional soccer player. And he came out with torticollis, which is a elongation of the muscle in your neck. He was pinched inside, and his little foot was crooked. So instantly, out the window, is my son going to be okay? That was the only thing that mattered to me. Is my son going to be okay? Turns out he's going to be fine. Went to physio, his foot's fine. Now he's playing basketball. He's really, really good.
That's awesome.
But at that moment, I realized those are my dreams. Those are my aspirations. Is my son going to be able to run, doctor? And I'm crying, and he's like, he's going to be just fine. And so now I realize I just want what they want.
Yeah.
It's not fair for me to put my... I love soccer. We love soccer. We've known each other a long time. Excuse me. And I want my son to play soccer so much. But he's chosen basketball. So I'm relearning my basketball skills so I can be out there teaching my son basketball. And hey, you know...
And you got some good basketball skills,
some, you know,
man. You're good,
I got a little black in me. I got a little everything in me. I'm a true Canadian. I'm a mutt. My dad did 23andMe. He was like 15 things. And my mom's already 7 things. So I have no idea what I am, but I sort of associate with being, you know, a little bit of a brother and got some skills in a lot of different sports, naturally gifted. Yeah. But it's a whole new ballpark. It's a whole new game, and I'm going to do that for him because that's what he wants. And what am I going to? No, you have to play soccer. No, you have to play soccer. God damn it, I'm good. You're going to be good. Yeah. No.
Well, no. You know what? Those are 2 things that make a lot of sense. You know, first of all, you have to have conflict in your life. You have to go through mistakes. You gotta fall to know how to get up, and that's a great thing that you can teach your kids, and that's amazing.
Oh, I'm good at failing. I'm real good.
Look
over here, boy. This is what you don't do. You catch that?
You'll never find success, man.
Absolutely,
absolutely. And the other thing is that I see it with my sister, with my brother. I see it with other friends that and I was like that too when I was like having my nephews over. I would always think I want them to be like me. I want them to learn what I've learned, and then what I learned myself was that I was bestowing, like you said, my ideologies, like what I wanted them to do, and then I was like, oh well, same thing. My nephews, they don't play soccer.
No,
the only one is Haven, and I love them for that, right? And my other nephews, I was like, oh, so disappointed. But then I was like, no, man, why should I be disappointed? I'm gonna encourage what they love, and every time they call me for me to drive them to their football game, I was like, let's go, football practice, let's go, and then they became really good football players, and now they're massive, they're huge. You know what I mean?
I think these kids nowadays they want it all. I don't know if there's gonna be any kids listening right now. Maybe they're forced to because their parents are listening to us talk about. But
and it's good. Listen up, it's good.
You want it now. We get it. You want to be good. You want to be great. But if you watch any of these docuseries on Netflix, like the Michael Jordan one now is fantastic. You just got to put the time in. He was first to practice. He was last out of practice. He's running laps before the team gets there and runs laps. He's taking 500 shots, free throws every day.
Every day.
That's how you get good.
Yeah. And we talked about that. We talked about it in one of our conversations. Like, you look at all these professional athletes, right? And there's the saying that it takes about 10,000 hours to get good at something, right?
Exactly.
10,000 hours.
That's a long time.
Right? Like we kind of were thinking about how long we've been playing soccer and how many hours we've invested, right? And we definitely we're not even at a quarter of what these professional people do.
And we're still learning.
And we're still learning.
That's the most important thing. At our age, we're still out there. We're still trying new stuff. So it's like, to these kids, it's like, hey, we're still trying. We're still applying, and we're still failing. And we're tripping over the ball. And we're making bad passes. That's okay. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep trying.
And if you
want it, you'll get there.
You have kids that actually are playing less sports, and especially around this time right now because we've had to go into quarantine and all that. And so now parents are accepting that they can stay home and play video games, but that's okay too. Because I last week I was talking to a friend of mine, and his son has been playing that K2 basketball. What's that basketball video game thing, right?
Y2K. I don't know.
And he's invested so many hours. He is like a few hours away from being pro. And they've asked him to go into tournaments down in the States to play this game among like thousands of people where he can win money. Just like that kid that won like, I don't know, 3 million or something like that for being the champion at Fortnite, right? But what I'm getting to is that he is learning basketball in theory. He knows all the plays. He knows all the moves.
You're right.
So when his dad took him to the court, and apparently he was playing with some professional ex-basketball player down at Kids, dude, the kid was just making all these moves, spins and moving and stuff. Like he was actually playing the video game.
Playing the video game.
So he learned everything in theory. The professional basketball player, took the dad to the side and said, "Hey, man, your kid's got talent. Where did he learn all of this?" And he was like, "Playing video games."
Playing video games.
So now it's like technology has come so far, and video games have come so far compared to our era. For like we used to play like like with the little sticks and dots, but but now you can actually run plays.
Yeah.
All the football games, all
when the controller
soccer
still had a
games.
string attached to the
Oh man, remember that?
to the unit.
We didn't even know anything about Wi-Fi.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that brings that up to our conclusion of the show, of this segment. I want to say thank you, Umi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And if there's anything else that you want to say.
I wanted to say, yes, I did want to say. I just wanted to give a shout out to all the fathers and say Happy Father's Day, and to all the stepfathers and all the dads and all the moms who are doing both shoes and getting out there and doing the stuff that they probably don't want to do with their kids. We appreciate it very much. And I've got a challenge. I got a challenge for all you fathers out here. Here's the challenge. Give your Sundays to your woman. Give her the day off. If not, give her the evening off. Just do that bedtime routine. Just get in there. Just clean them, brush their teeth, put them to bed. Trust me, you'll thank me for it. When you see them light up and, Daddy, I love you, thank you so much, it'll change your world and it'll give your woman some time. All right? See if you can do it. One day a week, it's not that bad.
One day a week. Amazing. The mind behind the curtain.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you, Umi. We're going to do this again, and we're out. Let's go.